welcome back to TitanReach. I'm holding something, but it is invisible. Don't worry about it. Anyways, between episodes, I did a significant amount of all sorts of stuff. So we will go through that. Made some potions. Cooked a lot of prawns. Killed a whole bunch of wolves. And my levels are now 20. Dexterity, strength, defense. Vitality just kind of happens. It's at 22 now. Fishing. I ended up needing to get to 41 to get cooking to 40. Ultimately, the continued fighting of wolves for artisan experience would have probably gotten me enough wolf meat to not have to worry about that, but that's not the order we're doing things, so that's fine. And we got alchemy to 32, so, well, 30, not 32. That comes later. So, fishing, 767 prawns, plus all the other ones that burnt. Took a little bit, as you might expect. But we had to do that to get to the next fish. From level 20 to 40. So let's go check out these new fish. And by check out these new fish, I mean, here's the map. We are looking for Hagnesh. Those are only up there on the upper waterfall. Okay. Well, let's head that way. Now, there is a question of whether or not these are fishing rod. If they're that far away, I might want to bring fire. We will see if we still need this fishing bait for anything. Or worms, rather. Because if these don't use worms, and the yabbies pretty clearly don't use worms, based on the fact this is called a yabby cage, we might not need the worms anymore. Because we're not going to go back to a level 8 fish. That'd be kind of silly. It's definitely more of a trek to get up here. That's for sure. And I'm pretty sure going to this side is going to be faster, since we tried to get up here earlier, and it was not a quick thing to do on the other side. This side, you just kind of run up this hill. The other side is full of jumping and whatnot. And the closest trees are kind of low down, so we might want to chop a tree on the way over. Let's see, Agnesh. Fishing rod, it is. Then we have axe too. Alright. Raw Agnesh. Still quite profitable, since the worms are still only 3. And presumably, when we burn half of these, the ones that we have left will be very good food. Not that we're really going to need it for a long time, but eventually. Depending on how much it heals, it might end up being faster to just make the regeneration potions or catch prawns, but it's the variety here. That's what I'm looking for. Seems pretty decent experience so far. one more, then we can go make a fire. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then the closest trees. Yeah, it would definitely make sense to bring the logs up instead of running back down each time. Probably would want 2 logs based on the burn rates of things. And we need to switch to the axe. Okay. Logs, flint, gets fire. Hagnish. Let's see how many of these we burn. It begins. For the prawns, I just ended up banking all of the burnt ones and then just chucking them all into the store. Could have dropped them. But I think the general store needs more burnt fish in it, so that's what we did. Yeah. We're going to grab another log to bring it up to the fishing spot. Fill up again, cook the fish. That'll probably be good. It's a slightly different operation than having the infinite fire right next to the fishing spot, right next to the bank. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna make a magical rotating burnt fish pile is what I'm gonna do. Let's get a nice zoom in on that. Oh yeah. Good stuff there. Alright. Then we switch back to the fishing rod. It's a nice view for a fishing spot. I'll give you that. That waterfall is so tall you can't even look up at it at that angle. And there's 42 fishing. Very good. That's progress right there. Okay. Now we will make a fire. And the fire is under the rock. That's okay. That's fine. Doesn't have to make sense. I can see the particles from the fire. It's pretty funky. That's okay. Drop some. The fire should stay there for at least a little bit. We can fish a few more hagnesh. Try to cook those too. Two logs is definitely the right number to bring. Towards the end of the cooking process, to get to 40, I was not burning very many prawns at all. So it definitely seems to get better as you level up, which makes a lot of sense. Raw hagnesh. That's getting a little bit too micromanagey. We can fall down this waterfall, fall down another waterfall, make our way back to town. Catch and cook a whole bunch of fish, and then jump into the water. It's like bringing the fish home, but they are cooked. And then fall down 3 waterfalls. Alright. Agnish. Very good. Deposit all that. We're gonna need to buy more worms if we do more of that. That's okay. Next thing I want to try. Since we got ourselves level 20 dexterity, we can now use a steel axe. But can we use it to woodcut? On the items, it only has the dexterity level required. That doesn't mean for sure. Looks like we can. And we are only level 10 woodcutting. This is a theoretically level 20 axe we have here. So that's interesting. That could be a pretty big deal for once there's the whole economy and everything going. Because if you can use any axe at any woodcutting level, that might mean it just doesn't matter, really. We need to test that more. I feel like doing a bit of woodcutting here. We got our new fancy steel axe. Might as well do some wood chopping. Also, we brought the flint because we might want to be fire making, depending on where we go. Check the map. Clear the filter. Where's the best oak tree location? I feel like there's one in all those locations. So to get 2 oak trees, you need to go further away. But then you wouldn't be able, then it would be less efficient to bring them back to make arrow shafts. So you kind of have to decide what you want to do with the oak. This one's close by. Of course, that's going to be the oak tree of the most competition. Then the question is whether you want to wait around for the oak tree. Okay, I'm still chopping it. It's gone. I'm still chopping it. That was weird. And then there's the question of, yeah, it seems like if you were the last to chop it, I get to keep chopping this invisible tree for my entire time. I don't know if I can physically cut this tree down now. That's weird. I'm just here, still chopping the tree even though it's gone. I think I did chop that one down. Well, this is a bit of a mess. So, an infinite number of people can start chopping the tree, and then continue to chop it forever, even if it goes away. Well, that is fascinating. That is not the expected functionality of oak trees. But okay. And then there's the question of, is chopping oak faster than chopping regular trees? And as far as making arrow shafts. Alternatively, you can go further afield, chop them, and use the flint. Both of which would give survival experience. But then if you burn them, you don't get to have arrow shafts to make arrows, so. Pros and cons. Also, it seems like oak logs are way more expensive than they have any right to be right now, at 70. It's like more than all the other logs or something. Crazy like that. We have a lot of arrowheads, but I don't know if we really want to make them all into arrows. Especially since we're going to be getting into steel here. And then we're going to have steel arrowheads, probably. I'm gonna go try some fire making over at the other spot. So, when you do fire making, you don't need to really worry about inventory space too much. What kind of tree is this? Can we chop this tree? Oh, what was that? You can chop all the trees, they said. Not this one. So if we go up here near the alchemy location, if there's the 2 oak trees right next to each other. Or close enough. I guess you really don't need 2 oak trees if you're going to be fire making. Because I bet by the time that you chop down the first one and light all the fires, it'll be back. Okay. So to do fire making, you light the logs, then you move a bit, and you light the logs. How close can we be to make another fire? We can stand on the fire to make another fire. Alright. So this also gives survival experience. Whether it's more or less than arrow shafts, I'm not entirely sure, but... There's a line of fire. Cool. If we angle ourselves slightly differently, we can do a line of fire in a different direction. By just pressing the same buttons. Survival 25. Let's make a different kind of bow or something. Yeah, 1 tree seems to be plenty when you're doing fire making. So, the location of the single tree would not really matter. Yeah, it still has quick respawns. I think there was talk of the respawns of things being faster than they ultimately will be. So that's a thing to consider. So all the current XP rates could very much be completely changed. And that's pretty much the intention, eventually. It's very much early access. There's also the whole, this is only some of the content, so. When you get more options for other things that can give experience, like quests and stuff, you don't need to have the XP rates the same as they are when there's no other things to do. And then there's people going for maximum levels using only level 30 stuff, so that's probably going to be changed. Well, who knows? We're getting really close to the tree. I don't know if we can keep putting fires here. What am I talking about? You can put fires anywhere. Under rocks, under picnic tables. There's no shortage of stuff you can do with fire. That's pretty much all the things you can do with oak. I guess we could make some bows, but ultimately you can make fires when you're further away. Arrow shafts if you're closer over here. Still have some feathers, but nowhere near the amount to make all these arrows. My goodness. Next up, we have the steel pickaxe. So that should make mining a whole lot quicker. First off, let's sell off the iron axe and iron pickaxe. Won't be needing those. Now that we can wield and use the steel ones. So, coal location. It's over this way. It seems to be that making steel things is probably a little slower than making iron things. But they're gonna be worth more too, so. Oh, they're working their way up there. You can jump up there apparently. Good to know. So instead of trying to run around, you can just go up that way. Definitely seems a bit quicker. Than the iron pickaxe was. Okay, yeah, we are mining the empty coal vein. No, we're not. Not sure if that's intended. If that... I see he's still mining it. That almost makes it better when you have more people around. And my goodness, we have more people around. Because if everybody that didn't finish the resource can continue mining or woodcutting for the entire bar, that's pretty good. Let's see if either of us... Okay, looks like he mined the second one. But now it's back. There's some weirdness going on with that. You gotta kind of jump off the coal. There's probably a fastest way to do that. Interesting though. So with this coal, bake some of it, grab some iron, make some steel bars, or steel ingots. And we can turn that steel ingots into whole bunch of steel stuff. Gonna need to mine iron too. That's okay. Steel ingot. And then the sapphire ring and amulet are 35 and 40. And then it's 40 for cobalt. Okay. So steel ingots. Metallurgy 31. Very good. Okay, even though this takes 3 ores, it's like similar experience per ore, but then again it takes longer to get the coal, so there's pros and cons for all of it. Looks like it's gonna be a little bit before we can get to 32. And then we can start making the arrowheads, and we can start working our way through the steel up to level 40. And 40 is also the level for cobalt, so one more steel pickaxe. With the way it requires iron and coal, it's probably the best idea to bank a whole bunch of it before going back and forth trying to make the steel. That's okay. And we come back with inventory of steel pickaxes for now. Get some money. We can take 10 more iron, all the coal. And it's more coal than iron too, so that makes it also slightly more slow. Lots of things to consider. Steel ingots. Ultimately, I'm going to want to do quite a bit more of this whole mining, metallurgy, forging path to make myself a full set of steel. And that's going to require getting to level 40 to make the chest plate. But a steel greatsword and full steel would be a pretty substantial upgrade over my current iron gear. Just shy. Can almost make a steel dagger and arrow tips. We'll do one more trip of coal. Bring that back. Then we can see what the value of steel arrow tips is. Presumably it's going to be higher. I think I saw some people talking on the Discord, link in description, that steel arrows aren't really that much better than iron arrows. So the player-to-player value wasn't higher than iron, really. Whether or not that got down to the cost of the shop prices is another question. Like rolling might be a little quicker, so that's fun. Two people fall from the sky, start mining coal. As you do. Another person falls from the sky. How delightfully ridiculous. The lack of fall damage is definitely a thing that's doing stuff right now. That would change a lot if that changes. Did I mine the coal? It's really good when you don't mine. I feel like this whole... You can continue mining or woodcutting forever if somebody else... Well, not forever. If somebody else... Okay, it came back and we mined it and then it's gone. Okay, we mined that one. It's an awkward system, that's for sure. But it might just be placeholder. Because this is the only place to mine anything. Or the only places to mine anything. And everybody in the game is stuck in the same locations. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see, I've mined the ores, they get to keep mining. 'Cause that's fun. It's a whole system. Alright. Jump up on the ore. And you jump up on this rock, then you jump up into the corner, then you jump up here, and then you jump up here. Don't follow me, I don't know what I'm doing. It's a whole system. Then we can apparently roll to go faster. Oh, jumping's faster. Jump. Roll. Okay. So we don't have enough coal to do another full trip. So this will probably be the last steel forging trip we go on for right now. Do still have one more thing to look into. So after we see what we can do with these steel arrow tips. Okay, making the steel ingot is a huge loss. That's 240 for the coal and 65 for the ore. And the ingot's only 180. Ouch. And then the ingot is 180, and then you make yourself a steel pickaxe. That's only worth 90. Brutal. But now we're level 32. Let's make a steel dagger. Just to say we've made everything. And the rest we'll make one steel arrow tip, and then we'll decide what we're doing. So, pickaxe is 90. Dagger is 110. Steel arrowheads are 20 each for a total of 200. So that is clearly the winner in usability and profitability. At least for now. I expect for the rest of the steel equipment to follow a similar value path as other things have in the past. So nowhere close to the value of the arrowheads. Of course, price is subject to change. And we got forge in 32. That's what we require to get those arrowheads, so yes. Yeah, 20 each. Not bad. Let's see how the dagger compares to our sword. Not likely to be better, but we can check anyways. So, iron greatsword, 50, 1.2. Dagger, 16.8. So, no. Steel dagger, not better. So we can throw that in the store too. No. Okay. And I guess we do have two things now. You go here. There goes 5, 10, 20. Very good. That's another interesting question. We take these potions. Can we decant potions? Nope, using the potion was the same as eating. So we got a 2-dose strength potion. Use it? Nope. So there's an eat button and a use button. Both of them do the same thing. Good to know. Does make the whole small doses of potions in the bank awkward. That's fine. We've got all this wolf leather. Let's try and make use of that. We're not quite a level where we can make the cowls, but very close. Let's make a whole bunch of gloves. I think we have profit from this too. Good to have. Since we're probably going to end up making arrowheads. And whether we end up selling any of the arrowheads is another question. It would also require a lot of making the arrow shafts and killing chickens. Or trading, also an option. Yeah, we can make a whole bunch of these wolf pelt gloves. Close to the cowl, though. It's gonna be quite a few more wolves to get up to 34. That's okay. That's also gonna be where we get a lot of our combat training, so it'll work out. And we got a whole nother inventory of wolf leather, so not too concerned there. We'll make one to see what it's worth. We can sell the rest of these. Okay. Money in. You only need to press the needle, don't need to use it or anything. Make one wolf pelt cowl, please. And then a glove for comparison. Okay. Make a whole bunch of... Well, that's not gonna work either. Inventory. You're too full. Okay. Gloves are 60. Wolf... The cowl is 80, but costs 2. So that's not great. So these first pieces of wolf pelt look like. Not much. I believe the wolf pelt and bear pelt armors were also on the to be redesigned table. So 20 armor on that, 20 armor on that. So things seem to have stabilized with the armor values, so that's good. But yeah, these use 2. That's not much more profit, so. Ultimately, for the time being, I'm going to mostly focus on the most profitable, because the fastest experience is not super important when the difference is going to be minimal compared to the time it takes to actually get the resources. And if we want to get ourselves that super fancy sword, we're going to need more money. So, not wasting a whole bunch getting tiny bits more experience per hour is probably our best bet for now. There's our stats almost completely redrained from all that accidental potion drinking. There's 26. Artisan. So we're going to need a lot of wolf pelts to get up to 34. I'm probably just going to get to 34. We could get to 33 and then fight bears, but bears are also a lot stronger. So probably just going to stick to wolves until 33. But we don't need all these gloves. Money. whole lot of stuff in here. Okay. Also interesting that the thread lasts forever. So that's fun. Got nearly 5,000 coins. Very good. Okay. Last up for today. We got to level 30 alchemy, making a whole bunch of regeneration potions. So that means we've unlocked the next potion. So let us go fill some vials and look up where we can get yellow mushrooms. Not oak trees. Yellow mushrooms. They're all the way down here on this path. Is the closest one. I think they're also purchasable in here for pretty cheap. So that could be worth it. That's a lot closer. I guess it depends on how many mushrooms he has. Buying the vials is only 5. So, I guess if we can make a profit buying the mushrooms from the vendor, it's probably for the best. Save ourselves a lot of time running all the way over there. We have 5 yellow mushrooms for 15 each. I guess the next question is how fast do they come back? And this makes unfinished defense potions. Seem to come back pretty quick. This could be slightly less awkward if we just put everything in the bank. So we need 23. I already have 6. So we got fill up our inventory with yellow mushrooms from this guy, depending on how it works. I'd like to purchase 5 yellow mushrooms, please. And then the respawn is... well, it's not quick. Feels about the same as picking mushrooms. Maybe. But you're closer to everything over here, so you don't need to worry about that. This has garlic, a crazy potato, and tomatoes. 147. Seems to have the same price every time, so that's fine. Then again, you could save yourself the 15 gold each time by just running over there. Ultimately, it feels pretty negligible. You know, I don't know how much time this would save. We'd have to look into it a bit more. I feel like that's something that only one person could do at the same time, too. So, also, then you have to deal with this whole system. Playing in the bank instead of just putting all the mushrooms in the water. Yeah, I feel like just going to the mushroom spawn would be less annoying overall. Not having to reopen the bank constantly like this. But now we have these defense potions. So let's go brew these up. These will be very useful in our fight against the wolves. Depending on how it works, between the defense potions and the steel armor, we might end up not really needing to worry about dancing back and forth to avoid damage, which would be convenient. Less work. Alchemists are unaware of how this potion works, but it does. They blame a wizard. That's pretty much all potions, huh? So next is ranging potions at 40, so not the most useful. Ranged is a little bit in an awkward spot since it costs money to use the arrows when melee is free. So less interested in ranged, really. Probably only going to end up training my range just to have a nice base level of stats, but not right now. And the defense potions themselves are 100 coins. So you could sell those back for 40. You could definitely make a profit here. It's just awkward to use the bank, really. There are Hagnesh, there's our prawns. Okay. So that's a pretty good idea of how all this works. So probably gonna do some things. Probably not going to train all the skills to the next level of things. Probably gonna do a significant amount of mining. Then metallurgy and forging. Get some steel stuff together. More alchemy, more fishing. We're definitely getting towards the end of this. There's still a few more things to check out, but eventually we're going to get to the end of content, and it's just grinding levels on low-level stuff and waiting for updates and such. So, but we're not quite there yet. I'm going to do more things, and we will see where we're at next time. Goodbye.